Chitta choda Yashoda ki bal. Navanita chora gopal. Chit means, what is chit? Chit means consciousness. That's why when you go to the bank or you go to some place, they give you a number and they write it on a paper and they call it a what? You know why? So you'll be conscious of your place in line. So you'll know when your time comes, this is my number. Chit means to be conscious. Consciousness. And many of our words, many of our Sanskrit and our Hindi words are words that we use every day. But we have no idea that these are Hindi and Sanskrit words. Because we think that these are English words. But they bear the very same meaning. The chit in the bank reminds you that you're going to be called and you have to be aware. Isn't it? So too we are saying to Bhagavan Krishna, may we be aware. Chit, awaken our consciousness so that we could be aware. Heart jod means put your hand together. Khada ho jai means stand up. Be aware. Listen to what is being said. Chitta choda Yashoda ki bal. Bal means, just like Bhagwan Krishna, he's called Chor. Chor means, would you like to be called thief? Would you like to be called a thief? But yet every time we eulogize Lord Krishna and we think of his name, we call him a thief. Think about it. Chitta choda Yashoda ki bal, Navanita chora gopal. You stole, but what you stole was not something that is physical. You stole something that is emotional. You stole something that is mental. That is what you stole. Because everything begins in emotion and in thought, isn't it? Everything. Even the Bhagwat Yagna came with emotion and thought. And so we say, Bhagwan, steal away the emotions and the thoughts that make us unhappy, that are not favorable for us, for growth and for longevity and for prosperity. Steal away this. This is what we want you to steal away. Keep it. Take it away from us. Won't you be happy to know that Bhagwan will take away your trouble? But then when the time comes to sing to Bhagwan, you know what you do? By singing, you're offering your problems. You're offering your trouble. You're offering your supplication to Bhagwan. But when the time comes to sing, you know what you do? You know, there are some singers, they begin this song by But you don't begin like that. Throughout the entire thing, you are like that. And then your whole life is like that. Dragging everywhere. And then you're always in problem. And then everybody you come into contact with, you create problems. And that's what you are like. Long ago, you turn on the television and there were lines of colors that came on and a sound that will go. You all remember this song? How long could you have listened to that song for? After you listen to that song for a little while, it gets irritating, isn't it? So to us, if we don't change our song and we continue to complain all the time, we too will become irritating. Do you know that? The people around us will become irritated with us. So we have to change our trend of thought and we have to change our sound. We can't cry ourselves down all the time. Do you believe that? You have to lift yourself. Bhagwan Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, lift yourself for yourself, by yourself. Listen to what he says. Lift yourself for yourself, by yourself. I can't help you. You must help but it must begin in your mind first. Positivity begins here in your mind first. Anything you tell your mind, it is going to happen. That's why when we do the puja, Cindy, we make the bedi that is made of the earth. And we sit down and we pray in front of this bedi that is made of the earth. You know why? Because what you throw out into the universe multiplies it and sends it back to you. What is the universe made of? What is the world made of? What is the earth made of? Matter. mud, soil. And so indirectly we are offering our petitions through the earth, to the earth, to the universe, asking that our petitions will be heard and Bhagwan will bless us with our wishes and our desires. Make sense? Only when we know, we have an appreciation for what we do. And when we don't know, you know what happened? It just becomes another thing. It just becomes a tradition. It just becomes something else. Last night, we listened to this being whose name was Uttara. And Uttara was in family way. She was pregnant. And in the womb of Uttara, there was an unborn fetus. But the unborn fetus was praying. What was the unborn fetus saying? Hari Om Namo Narayana. You would have sung that in the womb. But what are you singing while you have existence? Huh? What are you singing when you have existence? Huh? Suhanira? Dil de Kireko? Huh? Some days life is really like Suhanira, dragging. And some days life is really like Dil de Kireko. You don't know. Have you skating? Busy. And the Chandra is probably laughing when I say that. That's my example. It says, Uttara in her womb, she knows something is happening, but she doesn't know what. Sometimes you and I, we don't know what is happening, but we feel as though we sense that something is happening. Has that ever happened to you? And then when you voice and it really happened, they say, how you know? And you say, well, I have a crystal ball. Huh? In my crystal ball, I see everything. I know everything, but I don't know when I'll die. That's what I know. It says, Uttara, in the womb, the child is praying. And as the child prays, what will happen? Eventually, the child praying, he convinces Bhagwan that the time has now come when I must come out of this dark place. You and I and the ordinary mind, we cannot remain in darkness forever. That's why even when we pray, the mantra says, Asutoma, Sadagamaya, Tamasoma, Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma, Amritam Gamaya. From darkness, guide me onto the pathway of light. From ignorance, and ignorance is darkness, guide me onto the pathway of knowledge. For knowledge is the only thing that will ward away ignorance. And from death, because you know all of us, we are afraid to die. From death, I can't prevent that. But guide me onto the pathway that will guide me to mukti, salvation. Guide me onto that path. The path of the Bhagwat, and the path of the Yagna, and the path of Thursday Havan, and the path of Satsang, and the path of Puja, and the path of offering the dhar, and the path of lighting the diya every day in the home. There's some people, they have no clue. They see a diya every day, but they will never take the opportunity. They didn't light it because they can't get up in time to light it. But they see a lighting diya, and they'll never take the opportunity to take their hands and just bow to it. Huh? And it is right in front of your eye. Because God tries to remind us all the time. But we are so lost in the maya, the illusion, that you see the lighting diya. A diya is representative and a reminder of who? Mother? Mother who? And then you say, oh God, I just light the diya every day. But you lighting the diya and everybody else korhi and sleeping. And you lighting the diya every day and you praying. And for them to just bow to it, they wouldn't do that. And you're disrespecting Lakshmi. You'll pass by her a million times, whoosh, like a full bus. Sometimes you pass so fast that it breeze out the diya. Huh? And then you say, oh God, we real suffering. No money. You create your own problems. Do you believe that? You create your own trouble. Do you believe that? It says, in the womb, the child has convinced Bhagwan Vishnu, the time has come when I must come out of my darkness. I want you to put your hand together. I want you to look at your murti in front of you. And I want you to tell Bhagwan, take me out of my darkness. Tell him. In your homes, wherever you are, tell Bhagwan, take me out of my darkness. Take me out of my trouble. Take me out of my problems. You tell him. Talk to him. He's listening to you. He's born. He has manifested. He has taken his manifestation, his birth. But as he has taken his birth, the Guru, the chief of all the Gurus, the head of all the Gurus, comes into the kingdom. And you know why? To give the name. To give a name. And as the Guru comes, what will happen? Listen, it tells us. Paramatmane nama om namastubhyam Saraswati namastubhya varne kamarupini Vidyarambam karishami siddhir bhavatu me sada. Chant with me. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Par Brahma Tasme Shri Guruve Namah. Hari Om Namo Narayana Om Namo Narayana Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Hari Om Namo Narayana Om Namo Narayana Hari Om Namo Narayana.
श्री परमात्मने नमः. उसने का नाम विष्णु रथ क्या करने वाले, क्यों का भगवान विष्णु का पांडवों का दिया, तब उसने का विपुल करने वाले, वा में हस्तिनापुर में पांडवा की उत्तर किया ही घोषित करने वाले, दे किया गया होते. हरि ओम नमो नारायणा नमो नारायणा. हरि ओम नमो नारायणा.
Hari Om Namo Narayana Om Namo Narayana Hari Om Namo Narayana.
Dhayuyam is the name of the Guru. And so he comes into the kingdom. And as he comes into the kingdom, he's not only giving the name, he's giving a prediction of the life of this child. At the time of birth, the Baba checks based on the time of birth, date of birth. He begins to give a little prediction of what the life of the child is going to be like. He's able to tell what will happen. That's why he's able to find a suitable name. He's able to find a name that will suit this child so that it will be able to help by calling this name to go through the transition of all the problems and distress. And that's why the suitable person to name the child is who? The suitable person to name the child is who? You figure that out. I'm not going to tell you. The Guru, he gives the name Vishnurat. Vishnurat means the one who was protected by Lord. Now inside of the womb, who could see what is happening? Inside of the womb, who could tell what is happening? Who could tell? How is the Guru able to know that Bhagwan Vishnu was inside of there? How is he able to tell? Hello? How will the Baba be able to tell? The Baba open a book and he say, oh God, trouble, grab puja, offer dar and light diyan. And you watch and you say, he crazy. He don't know what he's saying. I don't know, gra, everything real good. And then all of a sudden you fall on Buru. Your own ignorance causes you to suffer. And so, naming him Vishnurat, Vishnurat Sintra means the one who was protected by Lord Vishnu. Listen to the name. And giving him the name Vishnurat, what will happen? The Guru gives the prediction. What does he say? Listen to what he says. The Guru is giving a prediction as to what the life and the legacy of the child will be. I want to ask you, if you have to make a prediction of your life and your existence, from this point onward, what will it be? What will it be? Jagannath, what will it be? From this point onwards, you have to make your prediction. What will it be? Dave, what will it be? Mama, what will it be? A prediction from this point onwards for yourself. What will your prediction be? Rukmin, what your prediction will be? Peace. In order to get peace, you have to learn to put the pieces together. Always remember that. In order to have peace, you have to know how to put the pieces together. And sometimes you have to be reminded that not all pieces belong together. You ever tried to make the puzzle? Not all the pieces connect, you know. So when you find a piece that is not connecting, you know what you have to do? You have to drop that piece and find a piece that will connect. Did you give thought to that? Well, I have been giving a lot of thought. And I came up with that analogy. That sometimes not all piece fits together. All pieces don't fit together. And in order to have peace, you have to know how to bring those pieces together. What is your prediction? The Guru gives the prediction, and the Guru says, he is going to be a great bhakta of Bhagwan Vishnu. Great. Not just a bhakta, a great bhakta of Bhagwan Vishnu. And so, since he was saved by Bhagwan Krishna, he will practice religion, principle, truth, and so he'll be a wise leader. Just like Rama will be the Ayodhya. Listen, Rama will be the Ayodhya, so he will be a king to his follower. Would you consider yourself to be a leader like Rama? Rama's father said to him, go in the forest for 14 years. Leave the kingdom and leave everything and you go. And you know what he said? Okay. I tell you, come to the Bhagwat, and you know what you say? I had to work. I can't come. I sick. My knee. Huh? That's what you say. Listen to what Rama says. He said, okay. When Rama says okay, then you know what happened? Mother Sita said, well, I go into. Because scripture declares what great minds do, or the great mind follow. But sometimes a not so great mind convince you to do not so great thing and you still follow. You still follow. It says, he'll be like Rama, the king of Ayodhya. And so he will lead by his example. And so he'll be a great warrior, just like his grandfather, Arjuna. Would you not want to be like great like somebody? Would you like to be great like somebody? Huh? Who is the best person to be great like? Who is your mentor? Who is the person that you want to take or use as an example of how you should be? Hello? That's an English question. Huh? Who do you want to be? Selena, who do you want to be like? Shania, who do you want to be like? If you have one person you could, and I want to be like that person, who will it be? Britney Spears? Huh? Who do you want to be like? You ask the little baby, the little child. The little child say, I want to be a garbage truck driver. Because at that time, that fascinates the child. The little child say, I want to drive a backhoe. I want an excavator. Have you ever heard the little baby talk? Little girl put on the mother high heel and twist up she foot all how. Because she pretending to be teacher. She come home and teaching everybody. Sit down, you're in class. Be quiet. Isn't it? But when she grows up and she recognizes the frustration, she herself calls to the teacher. She said, no. I don't want to be a teacher again. Huh? The little child says, I want to be a pilot. Huh? And you want to be like everybody and everything. That's what you want to be. But before you could be like anybody and anything, you have to learn to be the best version of yourself. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and be the best version of yourself. When you stand in front of the mirror, maybe you don't like your complexion, so have a little whitening cream. Rub it. Maybe you don't like the color of your lip, like Carol, so put a little lipstick. Right? But while you are polishing your body to make it look like what you think it should look like, remember, you have to polish your existence to try to make it look like what Bhagwan wants it to look like. To look like what God wants it to look like. And so Vishnuraj, having all of these qualities, what will happen? It says he'll be protected by Bhagwan. But then, being this great king, trouble and problems will come his way. Even in the prediction, is saying trouble and problems will come his way. In our life too, many times problems and trouble come. And our problems and our trouble is not caused by us, you know. Most of the time is caused by the things and the beings around us. Isn't that true? Big house, and then you skid down the step, burup. Plenty car, and then you're training the children to drive, and the daughter bunks somebody else's car, and you have to fix. And it's not your problem, but the problem has been created by the things that you consider to be your own. And if you have in your mind the understanding that nothing is my own, then chances are you'll have less trouble. True? And so, predicting this, what will happen? If you are Uttara, what question you'll ask Cindy? He'll be a good king, he'll be like Rama of Ayodhya, but trouble will come. Mother, you're the mother, and you're hearing that about your child. What's the next question you'll ask? Huh? What you'll ask? Well, if it was me, I would have asked, what we could do? That's what I would have asked. Because that's what I asked. And if you know me, you will know that that's my new question to everything. Well, what we could do? Huh? Better do something. What we could do? Being a good mother, she asked, she says, trouble? What kind of trouble? And what can we do to erase or to eliminate trouble from in the pathway of my child? A child that is now born, listen to what she's saying. Trouble will come, but she's asking, what can I do to erase the trouble from in my child's life? You know much mother lighting diya and offering dhar and doing job for the child. And the child korhi and sleeping whole day and liming and party and all the wrong thing, and you praying for them. Om Namo Bhagwate, Om Namo Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. You chanting 1,000 times, and they wouldn't even chant one time. You really think they will get a blessing? You really think God will remove their trouble? Their trouble is to teach them a lesson, but you trying to remove their trouble, and instead you doing the penance for them. In that instance, the penance will never work. It will never work. That's where the philosophy comes. And the Baba say, well, you have the gra, but your wife can't do the prayers for you. You have to do it for your. My sister living in New York, Baba, and she can't do the puja, so she go send the money and I go do the prayers here. And while the prayers going on here, she in KFC. Will it work? Will it work? In a time of technology and in a time of communication, when you could video and you could take part in the puja too, and though you're not physically making an offering, sit down with your urni on your head, or sit down with your kurta on and put your hand together and listen to the mantras and light a little agarbati and light a little diya while the puja going on and put your murti and do something with your own hand. I busy, I had to work. When the prayers going on, call my name 2 times when you eat any parsad, eh? Because you know I feel like I ain't parsad long time. And here when they call your name. And the parsad for your soul, Now bhook, you're not hungry for that. You're not hungry for that. It says, she's asking, what can I do to ease, to erase, to get rid? And the Guru says something that makes her begin to cry. Sometimes the truth makes you, sometimes the truth offends you. Most of what is saying offends us. Because you know why? You're guilty. And if you were not guilty, then you'll not be offended. True or not? You'll not be offended. You say, hey, you ain't here with that man say, that man throw all kind of thing for me. And he pelting it on top of my head. Boom, boom, boom. And you know what? You still boom, boom. Because you never wake up. You never wake up. It never affected you anyhow. The things that you're supposed to allow not to affect you, you hold on to. And the things that are supposed to affect you, you say, me ain't listening now. Me no, nah. I can't do. What I gonna do? I can't do. What I gonna do? Huh? And the thing that you're supposed to react to that too, you hold on. You're vexed for your whole life with somebody who just watch you. Huh? You're vexed with them. You wouldn't talk to them for your whole life. Poor Jagannath was wiping his eye, you know. And Samantha said, you see how hard he watched me? And the man opened his eye because something inside it, you know, in front of the fan, you know, there's blow the eye. And Samantha said, he opened my eye so, and he watched me. And that was not the intention. But the perception of the mind, sometimes it perceives you, and many times it deceives you. The mind. Because in your mind, you have formulated what you have formulated. And you know what's the sad thing? You're always right. You are always right. Everybody else always wrong. You always right. And when I say you, I mean me. And when I say you, I mean me. And when I say you, I mean me. When I say you, I mean what? What I mean? When I say you, I mean me. Right? When I say you, Sharon, what do I mean? You mean me. That's what it is. You mean me. Me. I can't be right all day. My perception sometimes might be deceiving. It mightn't be what it is. And I have to be open to that. She's saying, what can I do? And the Guru smiles. And the Guru says, there is nothing you can do, but there is something more. And as she begins to hear, she begins to cry. What is the Guru saying? Listen to what the Guru is saying to her. He's going to perform an action that is going to lead him to death. He's going to perform an action that is going to lead him to death. And when he dies, the dark age of Kali will begin. A dark period is going to come after his death. I want you to think about that for a minute. I want you to think of that for a minute. And for those who have lost close people to them, they will understand this. That after death, a very dark period comes. A period of being lost comes. A period of not knowing what to do and how to do comes. A period of feeling this darkness. And in some instances, that darkness never goes away. And in some instances, quickly, you're forgotten. Sharon celebrated her birthday yesterday. But you see, when you celebrate your birthday, Sharon, you're not celebrating you. Papa Malu celebrated his birthday. He is not celebrating him. I remember Papa Malu called me one night, late in the night. I live in San Fernando. And he said, Pandit, my mother is very, very sick. And so we took her to Medical Associates in St. Joseph. But she's very, very sick. I said, Papa, go and hug her up and tell her, Mama, I love you. Go and squeeze her foot with your own hand. Go and give her the tulsi water with your own hand. You do that. Because if she is so sick, and chances are she mightn't make it, then you will have no regret. And I could hear in his voice tears. Have you ever heard tears in somebody's voice? You could know when they're crying. I could hear in his voice unhappiness. So at that time of the night, in my pajama, I sit in a car and I drive to that place. At that time of the night, because I could feel the sorrow. And I go and I stand by the bed of Mama and I tell everybody, I say, you all touch Mama. Hold her hand. Hold her. Let's pray with Mama. All of you, hold, touch. And we chant the verses of Gita. And soon after, Mama died. Soon after. But you see that is something that no amount of money could pay for. That is something that only through the grace and the blessing of Bhagwan, that will be a memory that you could remember forever, that I did this. I told her I love her while she was alive. When she could hear it, when she could feel it, I hug her and I kiss her. And if you see what I used to do with my grandmother, if you could see what I used to do with her, I will ginje her from top to bottom. Ginje, you know. Pulling her clothes and tugging her and pushing her and pulling her and cheating and I taking away her food. And I will ask her all the time, I say, you have money, girl? She say, yeah, I have. I said, give me a little thing that I want to put gas. But she was smart, Cindy. You know why? She know that any amount of money she give me, I will double it and give her back. So from 100, she started giving me 500. And then eventually from 500, she started to give me $1,000 for gas. Huh? Because she knows that I'm going to give her 2,000 in return. She knows that. And not her 1,000, huh? 2,000 plus her 1,000, so she'll end up with 3,000. She was smart. She knew. Because once I could have worked and once I could have helped myself, I never depended on her. And I did not want her to depend on anybody else. I will do what I can. Sharon, when you celebrate your birthday, you're not celebrating you. You're celebrating your mother and your father. And what better way to celebrate them than in the Bhagwat? Cindy, you know how your mother probably looking down from wherever she is and saying, watch my child now. Look at what my child doing. Look at what my children they're doing. Kusum husband looking at her from in the cinema up in Swarga. And you know what he say? He say, watch my Kus now. Huh? Look at what my Kus doing. Devi came from London for the Bhagwat. Gulzin came from Canada and Nari. Just for the Bhagwat. What do you think your mother probably saying now, your mother? Huh? What your father will say? Your father say, well, me I pray plenty, but watch my children now. Watch how they dress up and they sit down in front and they're praying. Eh? Think about the blessing that will come. Huh? We should live in a way that we have no regret. Gloria say, watch Jagannath now. Dress up and in the front row with the dantal. Huh? Trouble will come. And when he dies, because of the actions, the dark age will begin. And as she hears this, she begins to cry. She's crying because now her newborn child, she's being told, will die. This morning I want to tell you, Auntie Angie, will die, girl. A day will come when we'll all go. Did you all give thought to that? Dave, boy, one day we're going down the road. A few minutes ago, somebody went down the road. Did you hear? A few minutes ago, somebody went down the road. What that person carrying? You know what that person carrying? No work, no car, no house, no land, but only karma. And you know what kind of karma is the best karma to carry? The one that we're in now. By practicing dharma is the greatest karma that you could enjoy. Let me say that again. Practicing dharma creates the greatest karma that you will ever enjoy. Do you believe that? That's why in years to come, when Selena has a little baby, the child wins a scholarship and the child becomes the prime minister, and then you say, how that little child from Bodnap in the bush become prime minister? It's because the Bhagwat, 7 generations before and 7 generations after, and in the time of Shravan Mas, many more received merits. And the seed was planted, and then the fruit will come in a time when you never expected to. Huh? Jagannath planted a coconut tree, but he mightn't live to drink a coconut. But the Sundar Lalki will pick the coconut, and Ashani say, my grandfather, they plant this tree, the coconut sweet. Huh? When you plant the seed, you might not enjoy the fruit. But in time to come, somebody will enjoy the fruit. So when you plant seeds, don't expect to be the reaper. Because in life, anytime you only expect to reap and you don't expect to sow, then you get nothing in return. You get the opportunity to serve with no expectation. And sometimes when something is presented to you, though you did not expect it, in humility, you say, no, I didn't do that expecting something in return. I did that because I know God will bless me. And so hearing that her son will die, she begins to cry. The minute you think of death, what comes to mind? How do you feel? To do what? Hello? How do you feel? To do what? I be akela, jaye be akela, दो दिन की जिंदगी है, दो दिन का मेला, आए भी अकेला, जाए भी अकेला, दो दिन की जिंदगी है, दो दिन का मेला. When you hear that song, how do you feel? How do you feel? Huh? How do you feel when you hear that song? You know another song that I personally, when I hear that song, I feel to just scream, and if I'm singing it, I'm okay. But if I'm hearing it, I'm not okay. You know what song is that? Oh ma. Strange. If I'm singing it, I'm okay. But if I'm hearing it, I'm not okay. Oh ma. What does that song do to you? Especially if you have lost your mother. What does it do to you? But you never understand that pain until you don't have your mother. You never feel that. Because if you have your mother, it just becomes a song. But if you have lost your mother, it becomes a song with emotion, with feeling. And then the whole thing changes. He will die. She's unhappy. She's crying. And now that she's crying, what will happen? We listen to 2 o'clock. Brindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai.